guys, welcome back. My name is Debbie. Welcome to my channel. We are on the afternoon session of the Brian Walshe murder trial, the disappearance of his wife, Anna Walshe. They are not back yet, but this judge is very consistent and very, what's the word when you're on time all the time? There's a word for that. Obviously, I don't know the word. What's the word, Judy? Prompt. Is that it? Oh my goodness. So they should be back any minute now. Punctual. Thank you. I knew there was a word for that. Oh my goodness. When are they supposed to rest? I think they've covered all the sciencey parts. We got all the DNA stuff yesterday. We got the medical examiner for some strange reason, because we don't have a body. We've talked to all the cops. We've talked to a bunch of her friends, people that worked with her. Who else can they call? They called her boyfriend. I wonder who the defense is going to call. I'm pretty sure they're going to call the defendant, because I think I explained it yesterday what Peter Tragos and his dad said. They pretty much have to call, if they're using the defense that sudden unexplained death syndrome is how she died. The only person that would know that is Brian Walshe himself. Therefore, he has got to testify. And the only thing they could do besides that would be an expert.
You are unmuted.
Sudden unexpected death syndrome.
What's the session?
If there is such a
conversation we had about the photo earlier, Commonwealth used a photo that is blurred out.
Excuse me, Your Honor?
The Commonwealth is to use the photo that is blurred out.
The blurry one.
The blurring one, and that's upon the representation that the defense is not contesting that is a photo of her. Correct?
No, the blurred one is fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, and there's no dispute that that's a photo of her, and you're content with me saying that to the jury?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sure.
As entering, all rise. Please be seated. Clerk's now in session. Turn up your cell phones.
Commonwealth may call its next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Commonwealth would call Christopher Bernasconi.
Oh, I'm not even going to try. It'll be on the screen.
Sir, if you just call me, please. Please, clerk, just raise your right hand for me, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in the cause now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Please go right this way. Please, baby, just take your time. Just watch your step. You're gonna have a seat. Just pull that a little bit close. Well, leave the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, could you state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, it's Christopher Bernasconi, and the last name is Bernasconi.
Where do you work, sir?
I work for TJ Maxx.
What do you do for TJ Maxx?
I'm a district loss prevention manager for District 1102, which is Metro Boston.
And how long have you been with TJ Maxx?
30 years.
And within Metro Boston, does that include the Norwell store?
It does not.
It does not. Have you had the opportunity to review videos from the Norwell store, though?
Yes.
And have you been designated as the keeper of records for TJ Maxx for those videos?
Yes.
And have you helped produce those videos prior to coming to court today?
Yes.
Did you review them and make sure that they were that they had not been altered in any way?
Yes.
One of the videos, though, there's a person that's blurred. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Is that done because the person wasn't 18?
That is correct.
Now, the videos that you turned over, that you helped produce from TJ Maxx, that was done in January of 2023, correct?
That's correct.
And TJ Maxx, they maintain their videos in the normal course of business,
Correct.
and they are done in good faith?
Correct.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
That question is ridiculous. No, we don't keep them in good faith. We doctor them up.
The drive that you were looking at that had the videos from TJ Maxx on it,
It is.
it is for January 4th of 2023, correct?
That's correct.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth would seek to have the drive of January 4th, 2023 TJ Maxx videos as well.
Any objection to that?
No objection.
And the TJ Maxx thumb drive 1/4/23 is now in evidence as Exhibit 263.
Your Honor, may the Commonwealth publish Exhibit 263?
You may.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, can we have the first video entrance? And Ms. Gilman, if you could press pause. Sir, where is this in the Norwell store?
This is referred to as the entry public view monitor, capturing the entrance of the TJ Maxx in Norwell.
And Ms. Gilman, could you go to 1 minute and 28 seconds on the video player? And Mr. Bernasconi, at the top of the video is a label. That is, do you see that? 2003-0104? The title of the video?
Yes,
You see that?
I do.
Okay. And the time on the video, is it fair to say that's 9:44 and 24 seconds as far as the start time?
That's correct.
Sir, are there any issues with the TJ Maxx videos as far as the accuracy of their time?
They're very accurate.
If you could press play. Ms. Gilman, could we have the second video cue? And Ms. Gilman, could you go to 8 minutes and 12 seconds on the video player, media player? Thank you, Ms. Gilman. And if you could press play. Sir, where is this in the store?
This is the public view monitor in the queue line, which is essentially the checkout area.
And Ms. Gilman, can we go to the final video for Register 4? Sir, where is this in the store?
This is above the cash register, register 4, I believe.
Thank you, Ms. Gilman. And Your Honor, may I approach one last time?
You may.
Mr. Berlusconi, do you recognize this document?
I do.
Is this a receipt for the transaction that you just showed us videos of?
It is.
The Commonwealth would seek to have the receipt from TJ Maxx for January 4th from Norwell as the next exhibit.
Any objection?
No objection.
The receipt that corresponds to Exhibit 263 is now in evidence as 264.
And Your Honor, may the Commonwealth
Publish it, yes?
publish it? I just want to make sure I caught it to the court reporter.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Mr. Berlusconi, what is the address for this store?
It's 10 Washington Street, Norwell, Massachusetts.
And does this share a parking lot with another TJX store?
Yes, the home goods division.
And could we go all the way down to the bottom? Right there. Sir, how was this transaction conducted? Was it cash or charge?
Hey, Marty.
It was a store value card used to make payment in this particular transaction.
And how much was the transaction for?
$133.94.
And going all the way down to the bottom, if we may, what was the date and time of the transaction?
January 4th, 2023 at 9:59 a.m.
Thank you, sir. No further questions.
No cross. Witness may step down. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Commonwealth may call its next witness.
The Commonwealth will call Alyssa Kirby. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give in the cause now in hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. You can be seated.
You just follow me, please, okay? Take your time, just watch your step. You can have a seat. Just pull that chair a little tight.
Okay,
You may proceed.
thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you please state your full name for the record and spell your name?
Yes, Alyssa Kirby, ALISSA KIRB as in boy, Y.
And where were you living in December of 2022?
I was living in Chevy Chase, Washington, D.C.
And were you familiar with Anna and Brian Walshe?
Yes.
And how were you familiar with the Walshes?
We were friends. I was introduced through my brother and sister-in-law.
And what's your brother's name?
Peter Kirby.
And so how would you characterize your relationship with Anna Walshe?
Yeah. Anna and I quickly became really close friends. And yeah, we were new best friends, we called it. And we spent a lot of time together. We just kind of clicked like sisters.
And when did you become so close?
Shortly after she moved to Washington, D.C. and lived nearby.
So you said she lived nearby?
Yes.
Can you tell us how far she lived from you?
About 5 minutes around the corner, 5-minute walk.
And how often would you see her when you, once she moved to Washington, D.C.?
I would say we planned to try to see each other about once a week. It wasn't always that, but about that.
And how often would you communicate with her?
Similarly, about once a week, or when she would come back to DC, we'd talk about when we could meet up and hang out.
And did you know Will Fastow?
I knew of him, yes.
And how did you know of Will Fastow?
Shortly after I started spending more time with Anna, she would talk to me about him as the man who sold her house, but then her interest in him and just hearing a lot about him as a person.
And what did she tell you about him?
She told me of that she was interested in him, that she had a crush on him, but it was a lot more talk about their connection and, like, I guess what she wanted to have happen with him and her, I guess, just her interest.
And what did she tell you about telling Brian Walshe about this crush on Will Fastel?
She told me that she was open with Brian about her crush on Will and that he knew.
In Christmas of 2022, did you have communication with Brian Walshe on that day?
Yes.
And how did that happen?
Brian called me that day, and because he rarely or almost never called me, I answered, and he was looking for Anna because he said he hadn't heard from her. And so, because she lived around the corner, I offered to go over there and check on her.
And what happened? Did you go over and check on her?
As I was getting ready to go, he had messaged me back that he had gotten in touch with her.
So when you say that you had talked to him first and offered to check on her, did you do that in text, on the phone, or something else?
I believe that first time was a phone call, and then later was a text message.
And do you remember what time of day that phone call was?
Not exactly, but maybe I feel like it was noon or early afternoon.
Okay. And what was his demeanor when you spoke to him on the phone?
That day, I think he was worried or a little bit nervous.
And approximately how long was it after you had spoken to him that he texted you?
I think it was within like 10 minutes because I was getting ready to go, and it was fast enough that I hadn't left yet.
And did you speak with Anna Walshe that day on Christmas Day?
Yes.
And when did you speak with Anna Walshe that day?
It was late, much later that day in the afternoon. I was already with family for the holiday, and she called me as she was driving up to Massachusetts.
And what was her demeanor when she called you?
She was very upset.
And when you say very upset, can you describe that?
Yeah, she was angry, and she was upset that Brian would have called me that day because, she said that she'd only not spoken to him for like an hour and a half or 2 hours, that it really hadn't been that long. And, there was already some strife, and then she had...
Sustained, non-responsive. So I'll strike the last part. Ask the next question.
Certainly. So how long did you speak with her for that day?
Maybe like 20 minutes.
And did you arrange to see her again?
Yes.
And when did you plan to see Anna Walshe?
I can't remember exactly when we planned it, but I know we had planned a day to get together right before New Year's to kind of see each other, hang out, catch up, and like celebrate like a New Year's together.
And did you see her to have that celebration?
Yes.
And what day was that you saw her to have that celebration?
I believe it was the 29th.
And that was the 29th of what month?
Oh, December.
Of 2022.
Correct.
And where did you go?
We went a few places. We started at the bar that was across from where we lived, that we'd been to a few times. And then we later went out to a karaoke dancing bar.
And how long did you stay out that night?
Like 6 hours.
So what was her demeanor that night?
So that night, because of what happened after Christmas, she was really upset. She was kind of breaking down because everything had been really hard, which Anna was always a very strong person, so that was very unusual for her. And she was just really upset about so much. She had really hit a breaking point. And we talked about a lot of things because she was so upset.
Ms. Kirby, can you tell me what she was upset about?
She was primarily upset about her and Brian's relationship, about being so far away from the kids, and feeling like she was upset having found out that the federal case was delayed, or she thought the federal case was delayed by Brian, and that she just really wanted to be with her kids. Their marriage had been really strained for a long time, and she told me how like upset she was and how frustrating that was, and how she was really at a breaking point.
Jurors, I'm going to remind you that the statements that are being offered with regard to Anna Walsh's state of mind are admissible, again, limited to establishing her state of mind, as is relevant to the defendant's motive to kill. To the extent that such state of mind evidence includes statements describing the defendant's federal case, Anna's statements are admitted only to show the defendant's motive and not to show that he had a bad character or propensity to commit any criminal offense. You may proceed.
Thank you. Had you seen her like this before?
No. Anna was usually someone very, very happy, very joyful, very strong.
Okay, no characterizations, just your observations. Next question.
Can that be an observation?
When talking, did she use specific words about what she had said to the defendant, which she had said to Brian Walshe, about the legal case?
What she told me about that was that she was upset because she wanted him to take responsibility. She wanted their family together. She wanted that whole process to be over, and she wanted him to be responsible, be accountable, and do whatever he had to do to keep their family together.
And what did she mean? What did she tell you that she meant by the word responsibility?
Yeah, at that point in time, responsibility was potentially just taking jail time and admitting wrongdoing and just owning a mistake, and so that their family, that she would be waiting for them and that their family could be together.
Did she give you specifics of what she had told you about the amount of time?
I think it was all an estimate, but at the time she thought maybe a year.
What did she tell you about the physical separation and her family staying together?
I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure what you're asking.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask that well. What did she tell you about being in different states and what that physical separation might mean?
Yeah, that it was really difficult for the family, but that also, because of how difficult things were, she was contemplating what that could mean legally being able to take her children to Washington, D.C., and also the physical separation from a husband was very difficult for her.
What, if anything, did she tell you about having established a separate household?
Oh, that she had told me that everything was set up in her name, the house in Washington, D.C., and the bills were, everything was in her name. So she was trying to figure out a way that she could have the kids with her in D.C.
What, if anything, did she tell you about her intimate relationship with Brian Walshe?
She told me that, aside from everything being really difficult, that they had not been intimate in a really long time, like maybe over a year, I think she had said.
And what did she tell you as to why?
She said it was because that Brian had been really depressed and that the strain of the case had really just taken a toll on his mental health and their marriage, and that she felt also that that her energy was being really drained. Yeah.
Too drained.
Was she specific about what she meant by her energy being drained?
Yeah, at that time, she was saying that Brian was calling her several times a day, that she felt physically and emotionally exhausted traveling back and forth from DC to Massachusetts. It was just a lot on her body, mind, soul, and spirit. And that, that also just like emotionally feeling like she had to be the strong one was very draining for her.
What did she tell you about Brian and his mother?
She had always said that.
Your Honor, objection. I'll see you at the side of the bench.
Some of these witnesses are cumulative. I think we got it. I think we need the rest.
Ms. Kirby, in this conversation on December 29th, what did she tell you about Brian and his mother and a psychic?
She told me that Brian had told her that his mom went to a psychic and that the psychic had said that she was having an affair. And that night she told me how ridiculous that was and how like she was very upset by that. And she'd always felt that Brian's mom didn't like her, and that it was scary.
Did she say why? Why that was scary?
Yeah, I think because she always.
Objection as to, I think.
Yes, sustained.
Did she say why? Not your opinion, just did she say why in that conversation?
Yes, what she said as to why was that she felt like his mom never really liked her and never like wanted her in the picture, basically.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd ask to publish from one picture from Exhibit 145 on page 39.
It's already in evidence.
It is already in evidence,
You may
just the picture.
You may publish it.
Thank you. Ms. Kirby, do you recognize that picture? Yes. Can you tell me who's that a picture of?
Picture of me and Anna.
And when was that picture taken?
That night we went out on the 29th.
I'm sorry, did you say that was the night from the 29th? That was during that night of December 29th? Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Gilman. You can take that now. Did you see Anna Walshe after the evening of December 29th into December 30th, because you said you were out late, of 2022?
No.
If you know, when did she leave for Massachusetts?
She left that next day on the 30th.
And when did you expect her to return to Washington, D.C.?
I think she had said like the third or fourth. It was a few days after New Year's. She was planning to come back.
Of January?
Correct.
Okay. And when was the last time that you communicated with Anna Walshe?
Right after midnight on New Year's Day.
And after that exchange with Anna Walshe on New Year's Day, right after midnight, did you get text from Brian Walshe?
Yes, on the 2nd.
Your Honor, I'd ask to get an exhibit and then approach.
You may.
I'm approaching with exhibit 164.
164?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
You want to just look at that for a moment? Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And you can look through it all.
Okay. Okay.
And what are those?
Text messages between me and Brian.
Your Honor, may we publish exhibit 164 for the jury?
You may.
Thank you. So I'd specifically like to ask about on January 3rd, if we could go down. Can you read on page 2, can you read that in green?
Yes. It says, hello, I know we did this a week ago, but have you heard from Anna?
And how did you respond to that?
I said, hey, Brian, sorry for the delay. Was sleeping. I have the flu and I'm super sick. I texted with Anna on New Year's Day, but no, haven't heard from her. Is she working today? She's usually running around super busy with work.
And when did you send that?
It looks like on January 3rd at 12:51 p.m.
And then did Mr. Walshe respond to you?
He said, you're right. I'll let you know when she calls. Feel better soon.
And then did you contact him later?
After that, I said, thank you. Yeah, and then the next morning, I was sick, so I slept the whole day. And the next morning, when I realized I hadn't heard back, I texted him, did you ever hear back?
And then what happened?
And then he said, no, they're looking for her at work now. And that's when I got really scared that something was wrong.
So what did you do after hearing that?
After that, I called my brother and I asked if he had heard from her and was explaining the situation.
Well, we can stop the publication. I'm sorry.
Sustained.
So just tell me what you did. What did you do?
Oh, after the text message, I called my brother and
That's fine.
Okay.
That's all. And then what did you do after calling your brother? Did you speak with Brian Walshe at some point on the phone?
I did, but I don't remember if it was later that day or the next day on the
Okay.
phone.
And who was on the phone with Brian Walshe?
There were some calls that was just me and Brian, and there was one call with Brian and his mother.
And what was the call with Brian and his mother like?
Well, his mother was pretty combative. I think she sounded.
We approach sidebar.
Yes.
I hate when they do that. Because it's not a legal objection. It's just we don't like the answer to the question. I don't think that's fair. Unless it's something that was brought up in a hearing. And of course, I didn't watch the hearing, so I don't know if it was or not. But if it's something that was brought up like motions in limine and they're not allowed to talk about it, that's one thing. But if that's the case, then the witness knows. They've told the witness, you can't talk about this. So chances are it wasn't. They just don't like the answer. So they go, Judge, can we come to sidebar? I think it's rude. I think it's disrespectful to the witness and the jury, and I hate when they do it. I don't have opinions, y'all. No, I don't have opinions, do I? Yeah, she was combative. Why was she combative? Her daughter-in-law's missing and her husband's calling around to try to find out where she went, what happened to her. Why is she combative? No reason to be combative. Your wife goes missing, you call her best friend. Why should mother-in-law be combative? She should want to find her daughter-in-law too. It's her son's wife. And even if she didn't like her, if you don't like your daughter-in-law, if she's missing, you're still gonna help your son find her. I mean, come on. You're not gonna go, oh, thank God, something happened to her. She's gone now. No. You're gonna help your son find her. This has been the weirdest day. Between her ex-boss not being allowed to say they had marital problems, to now the best friend not being allowed to say that the mom was combative on the phone. Tell it like it is. That's what the jury needs to hear. I don't know why he didn't just plead guilty to the whole thing. It's kind of like the Murdaugh thing. Oh yeah, I stole all this money from my clients, but I'm not lying when I say I didn't kill my wife and son. I lied about that, but I'm not lying now. I lied to the cops. And yeah, I lied when I sold those people the prints and said that they were real Andy Warhol paintings. But I'm not lying about killing my wife.
Going back for just a moment on the 29th, did Anna ever tell you how Brian reacted to his mother saying, the psychic saying that she was having an affair?
Yeah, she told me that he thought it was equally as crazy, or that was what he said to her.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
I'm gonna swap out one, I'm gonna give you another. Recognize that jacket.
Yes.
Can you tell me what
Just stay on the microphone so we can hear you.
Sorry. Can you tell me how you recognize that jacket?
As Anna's jacket, one that she wore.
Your Honor, I'd ask that this be the next exhibit.
All right, any objection to that?
None, thank you.
Jurors, that'll be marked into an evidence as Exhibit 264, photo of Anna. The jurors, the face of Anna Walshe is blurred out for that photo, but there's no dispute that that is a photo of her in the jacket, in a jacket. Thank you. 265? Oh, yes. Thank you.
265.
265, yes.
And I'd ask that this be published to the jury.
You may.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Cross? Thank you.
What?
Good afternoon, Ms. Kirby.
Baby.
Afternoon.
It sounds like you and Anna got very close very fast.
Yes.
When she was down there, you guys would try to see each other about once a week?
Yeah.
Okay. And while she was down there, she was working for Tish Inspire.
Yes.
And obviously you would text or talk on the phone sometimes during the week
Yes.
and sometimes go for coffee walks around the neighborhoods.
Not coffee, but often walks, or we would meet up. Yeah.
I'm imposing my own desire in that. Okay.
Okay.
And her work schedule was pretty demanding while she was down in DC.
Yes.
And it wasn't uncommon that she would work until 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that was what she would tell me. Yes.
Okay. And then on top of that, she was flying back and forth to Boston on Thursdays or Fridays and returning on Sunday nights or Mondays.
Yeah, often Mondays and then returning Thursday or Friday.
Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about that Christmas Day phone call from Mr. Walsh.
Okay.
You had mentioned that it was not common or out of the ordinary for him to have called you.
Yes.
Okay. And I think you described him on that call as nervous and worried, right?
Yes.
And this was Christmas Day?
Yes.
And I think you told us it was about noon or a little bit past.
Don't be suspicious. No. Don't be suspicious. 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 Don't be suspicious.
John Ralphio?
Noon when he had reached out to you?
Mhm.
And what he said is that he and the boys were expecting her home for Christmas and he hadn't heard from her.
What I recall he said was just asking me if I had heard from her because he hadn't heard from her.
Okay. And because of that nervousness or worry in his voice, you actually offered to go swing by her house to see if she was there.
Yeah, I thought that she was already back home for Christmas, and so that worried me. So I offered to go over.
Okay. And I think you said within 10 or 15 minutes, he actually reached out to be like, we're good. She reached out to me. She's okay.
He said he had heard from her.
Okay. You had told us that you had also spoken to Anna on the 25th on the telephone.
Yes.
And you were telling us that she was angry and upset that Mr. Walsh had called you.
Yes, she was angry that, he had bothered me that day with that because she felt it had not been that long since they had spoken.
Okay. So it was Christmas Day and she was upset that he bothered you on a holiday and that he worried you.
Mhm.
You had mentioned that Anna had a friend named William Fastow.
Yes.
Okay. And I think you told us that she shared with you that she had a crush on him.
Yes.
And she told you that she told her husband that she had a crush on him.
Yes.
And that Anna, when she was talking about sharing that with her husband, that they always had an open, honest relationship.
Yes, that was what she said.
Okay. And in that conversation, when she was telling you about how she had told her husband about having a crush on Will, that Brian wasn't the jealous type.
When she told me that, I was surprised, and she said that was their relationship. They were open and that he wasn't jealous.
And not only was he not jealous, that she kind of wished he was a little more jealous.
I think in the way that a wife would want a husband to be protective, yes.
Okay. And during the time you were friends in DC with Anna, and during these conversations, she never told you that she was having a romantic relationship with Will Fastow.
Not specifically, no. We talked a lot about Will, but not that anything had ever actually happened.
Okay. So you believe that they had a connection and she had a crush, but she never told you that they had been romantic or intimate.
Correct.
I think you had said that during this conversation on the 29th, Anna had said that lately she was just feeling drained of energy, right?
Drained of energy just due to everything going on. Yeah.
Okay. And she had also told you that she was someone that would stay up late and get up early in the morning, right?
I think she kept a busy schedule, not that she specifically always stayed up late and got up early, but that, she was doing a lot, and she just was a very energetic, passionate person.
And towards the end of December, there was a shift. There was a change in that.
Yes.
And she told you that she was falling asleep earlier and getting up later, and that was unusual for her.
Yeah, that she was really just starting to be sad, and everything was taking a toll on her. Yeah.
Okay. And it was when she was reporting this to you, she was talking about how even sleep, that she was falling asleep earlier, falling asleep earlier in the night. She was sleeping later in the morning than she usually would.
I don't recall that exactly, just that she said that she felt so tired and burnt out.
Okay. You had mentioned that you had plans to get together on 12/29, but you also had plans to go out on December 20th, the week before.
I don't think I remember that exactly.
Okay.
But we often would try to make plans and then things would shuffle, so.
Okay. The plans I'm talking about on the 20th, she had canceled because she wasn't feeling well.
Right, yes.
Okay. You shared with us during that long night out with Anna that the two of you were talking a lot about how it was difficult that she was away from her family. Yes,
Yes. Okay.
I apologize. And she told you that she said to Brian, you know, you need to resolve this. Even if you go to jail, we'll be here for you when you get out.
She didn't specifically say like this, then this. It was more like a conversation about taking responsibility, accountability, what that would mean, that could mean just owning it and taking the jail time if that was what, because the sentencing hadn't happened. So we didn't know exactly what it would be, but that was something she wanted for him to take care of their family in that way and just take responsibility, have it be done.
And I think you told us earlier on direct that she said to him, we'll be there even if that happens, meaning her and the boys.
And I don't think she said that directly. It was more like communicating to me that she wanted their family to be together, even if that meant
Okay.
jail time. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think they were still figuring out like what to do. They'd been living apart and she wasn't sure what would happen.
And so what you're telling us is that she wanted her family together.
Mm-hmm.
And that she wanted him to do whatever it took so that her and Brian and the boys could be together.
Yeah.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
Wait, William Fasto made it sound. He made it sound like they were going to have a future.
Objection, Your Honor.
She stated it, she can answer it. So rephrase the question.
On December 29th, did she tell you, did she want her family together?
I think.
Objection, Your Honor.
All right, listen to the question, answer the question if you can.
On December 29th, what did she tell you about if she wanted her family together?
She said that she wanted her family together. She also was exhausted and not really sure what to do, but I think she wanted her.
As to I think.
All right. Sustained.
On December 29th, what did she tell you about if she loved the defendant, Brian Walshe?
She told me that he would often not tell her he loved her and would always ask her how much she was in love with him. And that she told me that this time she answered not as much because of everything that had happened. And yeah, that she was falling out of love, and also that she wanted, you know, I think she saw.
Objection, Your Honor. As to
Again.
I think she saw.
I know it's a long time ago, but it has to be the statement she made to you, not what you think
Okay.
or what you understood from it. It's statements that she made to you.
Okay. Sorry.
And on December 29th of 2022, how did she physically appear to you?
Tired.
And on December 29th of 2022, did you go out to karaoke?
Yes.
And did she go dancing?
Yeah, it was karaoke dancing.
Thank you.
Any recross?
No, thank you.
The witness may step down. Thank you. Also, counsel at the side of the bench.
Man, that's like pulling teeth. Don't they prep their witnesses? I don't think this prosecutor preps their witnesses very well. Ow, 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 ow. Ow. I was been over playing with Spike a minute ago. Now my back's hurting.
Jurors, I'm going to read another stipulation to you now. And this is a stipulation, again, an agreement of the parties, simply an agreement of the parties. A stipulation regarding the federal prosecution of Brian Walshe. Brian Walshe was arraigned in the United States District Court for the District of Massachusetts in Boston, Massachusetts on May 11, 2018. On April 1st, 2021, Brian Walshe pled guilty to indictments for wire fraud, interstate transportation for the scheme to defraud, and conducting an unlawful monetary transaction. On October 6, 2021, an initial sentencing hearing took place in the United States District Court. Brian Walshe was seeking a sentence of probation and restitution, while the government, through the United States Attorney's Office, was seeking a sentence which included incarceration of 30 to 37 months, restitution in the amount of approximately $475,000. January 2023, Brian Walshe had not been sentenced on the federal charges. Brian Walshe was represented by a lawyer in all stages of this federal case. Commonwealth may call the next witness.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth rests.
All right, thank you.
Oh, they did rest, Judy. You were right.
With that, jurors, I told you that this case proceeds in chapters. That chapter of this case is closed. That is, the Commonwealth has presented all the evidence that it wishes to present in this case. As I've told you from the beginning, there is no obligation, no burden on the defendant to do anything. And so I remind you of that. The burden does not rest with the defendant. All the burden of proof is always on the Commonwealth.
Okay, weird
It's
speech.
always on the Commonwealth. The defendant has the option to present evidence if he wishes to. I'm going to suspend the hearings for today, and we'll see you back tomorrow at 9 o'clock, ready to begin the day. Thank you very much. And before we leave, I remind you, don't do any research about this case. Don't go on social media or any news media. Don't speak to anyone about this case, and continue to have open minds as you receive the evidence in this trial. Have a good night, jurors.
If there's exiting, all right. First, please leave your notebooks in the chairs. Watch your stuff.
Are we gonna have JOA? Gonna do JOA now? What's happening? That was weird. This is weird.
Be seated.
What do we need to discuss?
First, we probably need to discuss, defendant would move for required finding of not guilty.
Go right ahead.
And
Speak up.
she can share.
Give me a second to read your pleading.
I popped over to Magic Adventures during the lunch break. I said, I'll be back when court's over. And Mike goes, Debbie's not in court. She's not in court. She has a true crime channel. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that some people would misconstrue that.
All right, I'll hear from you.
Thank you, Mike.
For the most part, Judge, I'm just going to rely on that pleading, but what's important in this case, for purposes of arguing the Lattimore standard and the required finding, is that in the facts and circumstances of this case, even if you consider all of the evidence in the light most favorable to the Commonwealth, that the circumstantial evidence and the inferences have not been proven on the elements of premeditation and intent. And it's important to distinguish the fact that where inferences can be reasonable when they have to do with other factual issues that do not constitute the specific elements of the crime charged, here, the inference must be beyond a reasonable doubt because it must support the element of premeditated murder, and it must support the specific intent to kill. And whereas the Commonwealth has based their whole prosecution on what we characterize as a three-pronged approach, that motive evidence that they theorize supports an inference of intent and premeditation, they have failed to present the type of quantity and quality of evidence that would then result in an inference beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Walsh ever premeditated a murder or ever manifested the specific intent to kill. The three-pronged approach that the Commonwealth took in this case was that Mr. Walsh was motivated by financial interest, which has not been established by any inference sufficient to carry the day, even on the Lattimore standard. The second prong is that somehow Mr. Walsh was using his children and his role as primary care provider to avoid going to prison, and that has not been established by any sufficient evidence. And then there's the third prong, and it has to do with the affair, and where it seems clear that the Commonwealth has established that Anna Walsh did in fact engage in an intimate affair with William Fastow. They have failed to establish sufficiently to withstand a Lattimore standard that he even knew about the affair. In fact, if you consider the evidence in the light most favorable to the Commonwealth from their own witnesses, there is no evidence presented to this jury that he knew about the affair, that he reacted to any knowledge of the affair. And in fact, the reaction that he had fell far short of someone that was even jealous of the fact that Miss Walsh reported to him specifically that she had a crush on Mr. Fastow. And I understand, we understand that whereas motive is not an element, that's not what we're arguing. And I say in our motion that if the government stands up and says, since motive is not an element, that the argument that we just made doesn't apply. Well, that it misses the point, because that is the whole foundation of their prosecution in this case. And so respectfully, Judge, in the unusual circumstances and the complex circumstances presented in this case, I would ask that a required finding be entered on indictment 000.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Viewed in the light most favorable to the Commonwealth, the evidence is sufficient for a jury to find the defendant guilty of the premeditated murder of Anna Walshe. Your Honor, as to evidence that the defendant killed Anna Walshe, the defendant was the only adult in the house on January 1st after Mr. Mutlu left. There's evidence before the court that Anna was a fit and active 39-year-old, and in fact that she participated in a vigorous exercise class at Bar Method on the 31st of December, where she demonstrated that she was in good physical condition. Evidence of the bloody slippers, bloody bath towels, bloody carpet, on his broken Gucci necklace, combined with the defendant's internet searches about cleaning blood from wood floors, his purchase of large quantities of cleaning products, are sufficient for the jury to find that Anna met a violent death in the living quarters of 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway. I'd also point out there was a cut on the defendant's thumb, and there was evidence that he did purchase Band-Aids and some antibiotic cream on January 1st. As to deliberate premeditations, there's evidence that the defendant was aware of Anna's relationship with another man. He told police that he monitored the Chase credit card statement. That is an evidence before the court. That statement includes a purchase of a plane ticket to Dublin in over the Thanksgiving holiday in 2022. The defendant was aware of Anna's itinerary. He told police that he had suggested that she go out during a layover in Frankfurt, which she did have a layover in Frankfurt at one point of that travel. And again, looking at that travel, it's clear that looking at the Chase statement that it was indicated a trip to Dublin. The defendant told police that she had only gone to Serbia to see her mother. And I suggest the evidence is more than sufficient to find that he was aware of that trip to Dublin. He also searched Will Fastow's name on December 25th, and he also researched emergencies in buildings that Anna managed in DC. I'd also point out that the defendant's phone, which he said was mislaid from December 31st to January 2nd, he told Mr. Mutlu that when Mr. Mutlu came for the New Year's Eve dinner. That phone was repeatedly unlocked and connected to a power source while it was supposedly missing. The evidence indicates that the defendant used that phone to create an alibi for himself. It explains why he was not contacting Anna. And then when he did say he recovered the phone, he started sending text messages to Anna, and he later showed those messages to police. It suggests he was using the missing phone as a way to create an alibi for himself. And to explain why there was he didn't have the phone with him when he went to Vin and Liquors and threw something into the dumpster, or when he was in Lowe's buying cleaning supplies and cutting tools on January 1st. Your Honor, there's also ample evidence of motive. There's evidence that the jury can find that if Anna took the children to DC, the possibility of the defendant avoiding jail time on the federal charges would lessen. We heard testimony today about the impact of that on Anna and what she intended to do. Anna also had life insurance policies and financial accounts, which the defendant was the named beneficiary, and he stood to inherit substantial funds if Anna Walshe were deceased. And also, Your Honor, the defendant's elaborate web of lies regarding Anna allegedly leaving for a work emergency in DC. He lied to friends, family, and the police about that. I suggest that that also is sufficient evidence to give this case to the jury, and would ask that you deny that motion for required finding of not guilty.
All right. The Latimer standard dictates that I take every inference, all the evidence and all the reasonable inferences from that evidence in the light most favorable to the Commonwealth. Adopting that standard, I'm not convinced by the defendant's motion. I'm not going to repeat the evidence that the Commonwealth has just, in brief, summarized for the court. That evidence that this jury has heard and seen is adequate to allow the jury to deliberate the case, in that, again, drawing all the inferences, reasonable inferences from the evidence that's before this jury, there is sufficient evidence for this case to go to the jury for them to determine the three elements that are before them. But it gets over the Latimer standard. So the defendant's motion is denied.
We would just object to the record.
I understand. You indicated to me at the side of the bench there were some evidentiary issues you wanted to address with me.
There are, can we go to the sidebar for these, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Okay. I think that means we're done. Okay, so we got JOA. JOA was denied. Yeah. I think I missed. It said motive on the thumbnail. I think I didn't watch that video for some reason. So I missed a couple of his recaps. The one yesterday and that one. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I meant to tell you. During the break, I watched, he did a video on the Becky Hill sentencing. She got 3 years probation. Got a slap on the wrist. No jail time. They also did not convict her of jury tampering because they didn't have enough evidence. Which Peter said, because the prosecutor said that there was too many discrepancies between the 3 jurors at the hearing. But Peter's like, well, did they talk to everybody on the jury? Did they talk to bailiffs? Did they talk to this person and that person? Like, he thinks they should have investigated it more. And I agree with him. He thinks that Murdaugh should get a new trial. I do too. I don't think he got a fair trial because we don't know. Realistically, we don't know. Did they find him guilty because Becky convinced them that he was guilty? Or did they find him guilty because they thought the evidence proved that he was guilty? I still think if he gets another trial, that he'll still be found guilty. And he's in prison for life anyways for the financial crime. So what difference does it make? He's still in prison for life. He's not ever going to get out and hurt anybody again. But how do we know the man got a fair trial? I think in the interest of justice that he needs a new trial. Because I think Becky and her big mouth screwed it up. And I think we need to send a message to anybody else. Because what if another clerk of court one day decides, oh, she just got a slap on the wrist. And they want to do that too. But I'll be smarter. I'll do it this way and I'll get away with it. And somebody that is not guilty gets sentenced to prison. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like he didn't get a fair trial. Even though I do think he was guilty. And I know that probably doesn't make sense to some people. I feel like he'll still get found guilty again. But I still think he needs another trial. So, but that's just my opinion. You guys let me know what you think. Replay crew, let me know in the comments what you think. I just think that Becky fudged it up. And then her book got pulled because she plagiarized part of it. She's so stupid. Okay, so I can't wait to see the full entire fallout from all that mess. I think they need to fire them all and start over. And you know, every time they say trooper when they're talking to any of those Massachusetts state troopers. It irks me because my daddy was a trooper. That was his title. It just, they don't deserve that title. I hate it. Okay, guys. I will see you in the morning at 8 o'clock and we will do it again. Have a good evening, guys. Bye. Oh, I almost forgot. Be kind to people, love your family, and Jesus loves you, and so do I. Oh, cool. Keep us posted, Judy. Love you guys. Night.